Hello and welcome to probably one of the most pointless live streams and chats you will ever care about. Like you probably don't even care about this. Hold on a minute. This live stream is called Talking About Random Crap because yeah. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about random crap. Alright. Oh my gosh. I hate this cheap Chinese mic stand. The microphone is really nice. I got a Shure SM58, but I have never owned a microphone stand that doesn't have any problems. Like, it will fall apart within the first month of me having it, and this fell apart the first day I got it. It's being held up because of, I guess, gravity. And yeah, like one smack in this thing is gonna topple over. It's gonna die. It's still being kind of held in, but it's not being held in properly. It's stupid. I don't like it. And you go on Amazon, you see all these really nice ones for like 30 or 40 bucks. And they look really nice, but in reality they're just cheap Chinese crap that was made in a Chinese factory. And yeah, the same thing with my Behringer Euphoria UM2 that has a ground loop. Yep, ground loop, because it sucks. And the XLR cable doesn't help. It's the Amazon Basics. So every single time I touch it, it does this. Beautiful. Beautiful. I mean, just glorious sound, perfect quality. Yeah. And the worst part is, this has a mono output, so it has two outputs, but my speakers are stereo, so it only comes out one speaker clearly, because why not? Oh my. And the interface I have, it is a 2 input slash output, not output, but 2 input, but the other input is a quarter cable input. Why? I don't know. It's just quarter cable. I don't know why I'm complaining. My sleep schedule sucks. You see, I go to school tired. I come home from school even more tired. What is this? My mouth is whistling. Jeez, I'm not singing a song. Oh my gosh. I come home from school, get in my bed, stare at my phone for maybe about 20 minutes, then collapse, saying, "Oh, I'm just gonna shut my eyes for a minute." I wake up. I went to sleep at 5 o'clock. I wake up about 8 o'clock. And, it's only 3 hours of sleep, but, I mean, whatever. And then, I do random crap for an hour. Go to bed about 12, which is still not great. Can't sleep, or try to go to bed around 12, but then maybe go to bed around 5 a.m., which is not good. And then I wake up groggy. I might as well just not, go to sleep at all if I can't sleep, because it's just going to make me groggy and make me not want to go to school. So then the horrible cycle repeats. I come home from school completely exhausted, fall asleep, wake up a couple hours later, try to fall asleep again. Can't go back to sleep, wake up groggy because I only slept like 2 hours, and then go to school, and then the whole cycle repeats, and it drives you nuts. And speaking of, the time I get to sleep, there's this clock that I have right by my bed, and then I look at it, and I'm like, oh crap, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. That clock is somewhat of a symbolic, sort of symbolic to me, because it shows the lack of time that we have. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Maybe I can find a picture of that clock. Hold on. Here's a picture of that clock that I dread. There's that clock that I dread. Okay. Anyways, another topic I wanted to talk about for no apparent reason is sour cream and onion lays. There's people that don't like that, and I respect their taste. I mean, everybody has a different taste. But the people who like despise it to the point where they say like, "Oh my gosh, this is horrible. I can't stand the smell." Like, Jesus Christ, you don't have to blurt out loud that, "Oh, it's just so horrible. I hate sour cream and onion." Because it seems everybody who hates sour cream and onion, like, are obnoxious about the way that they don't like it. And, I don't mind if they vocalize their opinions, but not in an obnoxious way. Oh my gosh. And this is just my opinion, but I think regular Coke is gross. Once I drink it, I get a headache, and it just has way too much sugar. I think Diet Coke is much, much better. I think it's not as sweet, but it still is carbonated and it tastes about the same as regular Coke. It's not as overly obnoxiously sweet. Yeah. So sour cream and onion and Diet Coke. Very healthy. Oh my. The price of my Monaco panel is less than it costs for the zone cards. You see, my Monaco panel can go up to like 14, class B zones or something? 24 class B zones. And, like, the zone cards are really expensive. Why do I sound like that? I sound really weird. Maybe I need to drink some water. What was I saying? Oh yeah, my Monaco panel zone cards. It doesn't even come with zone cards. It comes with 2 onboard zones, and then you can expand up to like 24 Class B zones. The thing is, I get that it's not really supposed to be used in a residential house. It's more meant for government buildings because Monaco Enterprises is meant for government facilities and whatnot. Their panels are. But not for $189 per 2 zone cards. That's ridiculous. And each zone card either contains 2 or 4 zones. I'm not sure, but still, it's really ridiculous for a stinking relay. It's $189, and I paid $180 for my Monaco panel. Same thing with my Fire Shield. The FDACs are stupidly expensive. I got lucky because mine came with an FDAC, but it has a charger trouble because EST. My goodness. And it's kind of corroded as well, but that's just some mild corrosion. I've been thinking of getting this. There was this listing on eBay for a really interesting looking panel for not too expensive. It's an ADT 4519. I have never heard of the thing, which is maybe the reason why I shouldn't get it, is because I've never heard of the thing. I don't know. It says it works. The seller says it works. It just needs a new battery fuse or just a battery fuse. And it's, like I say, it's 2 zones. And I don't know anything else about it. Kind of like my Fire Quest, but my Fire Quest had a wiring diagram on the front of it, or on the front of the back of the case, I guess, or back of the front door. And with this thing, I don't think there is a wiring diagram at all. There's nothing about it on anywhere except for that one listing. I contacted the seller. He hasn't responded back, and I'm wondering if he'll ever respond, because I'm really curious about this panel. And I'm going to get rid of my MS4, maybe my DSC panel. Oh my. I got a Spaceballs poster. I cannot begin to describe how much I love Spaceballs. I love that movie. Lots of people didn't really like it. I thought it was really funny. It had John Candy, Mel Brooks, and Rick Moranis. And it was the prime example of the 80s. And I love the 80s. Anybody who loves the 80s will love Spaceballs. Oh my god, it made a box office of, was it 40 million? I'm not exactly sure what the box office was, but it made more than it definitely made a profit. Oh, hello, Simplex 4903. I didn't see you there. I hope you're having a good time on your hiatus and whatnot. Back to my Monaco panel. It's a nice panel. If anybody ever wants to get one, it's a good panel. I would say that it it's very simple, but it works. It does output FWR, and it does have two NACs. One of them is supervised. The piezo is extremely annoying, like very, very annoying. But otherwise, it's a decent panel. They're high quality. They last a long time. They're nice, I guess. My Thorn FireQuest 100, it's definitely an interesting panel. Very, very simple. Simpler than my Monaco panel. Oh my. Like, when I mean simple, I mean like a couple voltage comparators, a capacitor, and a couple of relays smashed together to create a panel. And the weirdest part is that the transformer is soldered onto the PCB. I have never seen that in any other fire alarm panel. I believe the year from that is 1991. I want to say the year that panel was made. I looked at the date code. Loganetics told me that the date was 1991, the 21st week of 1991. I'm not sure when. I think my Monaco panel, at least the case, was made February of 1998, I want to say. Anyways, enough about that. I'm going to talk a little bit about photography. I have just recently got a new camera. It is a Panasonic Lumix DMC GH5. Though it is a 5-year-old, maybe 6, 7-year-old camera, it is a really nice camera. It's got a 20 megapixel sensor, which is a lot better than the camera I use to make my main part of my system test videos, which is the DMC ZS40. I've been a big Lumix fan ever since I got my DMC ZS40. Once you get, here's some advice that I'll give anybody who wants to get into videography or cinematography. Now, I'm not that experienced of a cinematographer, but one of the things I can say is, if you get a camera, if you pick a brand, I would stick with that brand if I were you. Like, once you find a reliable brand, you won't get biffed out of your money. You know what you're gonna get. You know a little bit about the interface, I guess. And I've learned the Lumix interface. Oh, you're not on hiatus till March 23rd. All right. Yeah, you know the interface well. And this comes from a lot of cinematographers and videographers. Don't invest just on the body. Invest in glass. In fact, invest more in glass than you do into the body. I need a new tripod, by the way. My tripod is an old Goldcrest vintage little tripod. It actually can become really big. But that thing is starting to collapse. The legs have something that holds the legs into place has broken, and it's time for a new tripod. I've used that thing for years now. Oh my gosh, I'm looking at the Simplex test station. I'm looking at the Bellwire. I've used Bellwire for a long time, and I've switched over to FPL, and I'd say FPL is a lot better than Bellwire. Bellwire's nice, but it's really a pain in the butt. Just get FPL. It's much better. Yes, my systems might not be up to code, but I like them. How long have we been going for? We have been going for about 15 minutes now. Let's see. I used to be really obsessed with the AMC Gremlin. That car. I'm not obsessed, but I used to have an interest in that type of car, like the AMC series, AMC Gremlin and Pacer. I thought they were really weird looking, and they kind of looked cool, but then I realized that they were horrible. That they were known for like blowing up. One of the I'm switching back to cinematography. I know I'm switching topics fast. I'll try not to do this in the future if I try doing this in the future. One of the things that I'm seeing coming back is old digicams and VHS cameras. I could understand those things coming back. Like, it's vintage looking. Everybody wants a blast from the past. And I think taking pictures on digicams is actually a lot more fun than taking a picture on your phone. Like carrying a camera in your pocket, it just doesn't have the same feel when you take a picture with your phone. It's good if you're like on the go and you don't have a digital camera with you and you don't feel like turning on your digicam and doing whatever. But if you carry a small pocket camera with you, I'm sure you'll have a lot more fun. We've only got one viewer so far, which is the Simplex 4903, which is not surprising because everybody's at school. I got the day off today, and next week I've got next week off as well. I once bought one of these old cheap Chinese Ordro. The brand is Ordro. And I can say that thing was a piece of crap, unsurprisingly. It said it shot 4K, 44 megapixels, ooh, all these nice things. And, you can make fun of me. I could understand you guys making fun of me. But I learned from that experience to never, ever buy one of those cameras ever again. It is not 48 megapixels. It's maybe 720p at best, and the CCD was absolutely tiny. In fact, I wouldn't even say the CCD was even considered a camera. It was like one of those webcam CCDs that was absolutely tiny. And the digital zoom on that thing, it is awful. Don't ever buy cheap Chinese cameras that say in bright colors, ooh, 4K. Don't go on Amazon for cameras. Go to either a retail store or go on eBay and find brand names like Canon or Nikon or Sony or Panasonic. Like I said, I went for Panasonic, and I love that Panasonic Lumix. I love the Lumix series. Camcorders. I've thought about getting another camcorder that isn't cheap Chinese. I bought one as a Canvixia HF R20, I want to say. Thing came, it was broken, of course, because it had a dead power supply, or not power supply, maybe dead contacts or something, I don't know. Or maybe just a bad motherboard, I don't know. My dog is barking. It's going to drive me nuts. I don't know if you guys can hear it. No, you guys can't hear it. Okay, yeah. It would have been a nice camera, nice-ish, but of course it was broken because, yes. I might actually get another camera. How long have we been going for? 19 minutes. I'm going to try to make it to 25 talking about random crap. My aunt gave me this old Minolta Maxxum 3 something. It's a 35 millimeter camera. I took some nice pictures with it. I gave them to CVS. Don't ever go back to CVS. I take it from me. Don't ever use CVS. Don't ever go to Walgreens, Walmart, any of those brands. My dog barks when she needs something, and it's good that she vocalizes it, but it gets annoying after a little while. She either wants to play, is hungry, or wants to go out. And it's most likely the latter. let's talk about like random. Let's talk about the picture that is displayed on your screen right now. Let's go from left to right because I want to get this to 25, maybe 30 minutes. The one to the very left, that is my Wheelock ET10, or not Wheelock, Service Pyrotronics SSPK 1010. The one next to it, actually the PCB on that speaker strobe is dead, so I have to actually take the wires and hook them up to an amplifier to make it work. Same thing with the strobe. Yeah, and then the one right next to it, that is a Silent Night PSDATK. Very nice. Very nice pull station. That is my Thorn FireQuest 100 in the middle, that big red box. One zone, one supervisory condition panel. Pretty nice panel, actually. Reliable. I'm not sure I think a jumper was cut that made the supervisory zone not work properly. The one next to that is my 2903-9101. That is a final generator. I think that's the very late 89 model. And then that's a System Sensor Mass 12LO. I decided to change my profile picture because it was old and it was just time for a new profile picture. And my intro as well, speaking of, just channel production and whatnot, my intro I made in GarageBand by accident. Well, not by accident, but just randomly, and just decided to use it. I love going back in there and making different variations of that intro. It's really fun, and making transitions and whatnot. I've always wanted a career in the music production business. Not music production, just production business somewhere, probably cinematography. I've thought about getting into music production, but just no. People are like, why don't you become a fire alarm tech? I've just never seen myself being a fire alarm technician. Maybe someday I'll change my mind. I don't know, though. Let's see. Nobody's watching the stream. I've switched back to Adobe Premiere Pro from Clipchamp because I've gotten sick of Clipchamp and just the fact that we have to pay for Clipchamp like Pro or something, Clipchamp Plus. It's not worth it. Just get Premiere Pro. You can do color grading and whatnot on there, and there's better transitions. It is $34 a month, but I'm willing to pay that if I need to. Let's see, stream's still healthy. We're at 22 minutes. I bought this Pac-Man machine at CVS. It was this tiny little one. It was one of those impulse purchases. I don't do that as much as I used to. And the contact, I think it's a micro switch in there that makes the thing turn on, is broken. And it works, but like the button is broken. Speaking of electronics, my computer is running well still. I got this thing in 2020. So yeah, it's a 4-year-old computer, but I mean, it still works really well. It's got a Ryzen 5 3600, which is kind of ironic since my other channel name is Pentium Man, and that's an Intel CPU, and I have a Ryzen computer and an RTX 2060. It isn't quite time for another CPU yet. It might not be for a little while. 16 gigs is still reasonable for a computer. And I got an RTX 2060 and a LAN Lee case. I've always liked listening to Thomas Dolby's songs. Some of his songs, like Hyperactive or Radio Silence or Dissonance, those are his more obscure songs. He was more of an obscure, I guess, composer and singer. His most famous song was She Blinded Me with Science. I like that song, but I like Radio Silence as well. Speaking of songs, have you heard that they found that lost song, If the World Was So Easy or something? What was it called? There was some name for it, but yeah, that was just found like a month ago. I'm glad that song was found. Where I'm still trying to find that. Not where, but like the internet is still on the. Well, I guess the hunt has calmed down, but everyone knows that is still lost to time, which is. It's either been made by the person who uploaded it, or it was made for an ad. It's probably made for an ad, actually. Some obscure ad. My friend lent me his Canon T3i. It's okay for pictures. Okay, I'm saying. It's very old. It's maybe 11 years old, I want to say. The only thing that I got out of that Ordro camera is its light. Its light is actually half decent for what it's worth. And I still use it. In fact, I used it for that picture that you see on screen, and that's my channel profile, kind of. Don't like the silence. It's not worthy. I might do this later when more people are around. 'Cause, like, actually, no, I don't care. I don't. I'm gonna talk about random crap. Maybe people can watch this later or something. I don't know. My desk. This desk it's a decent desk, but it's also cheap Chinese. But it's served me well for what it's worth. It hasn't collapsed yet. It's holding my computer up pretty well. It's good. I walk my neighbor's dog for her. She's an older lady. She's nice. The pay is decent. Let's see. What else can I talk about? Now, I am just struggling to come up with stuff. I think we're going to end it here. Thank you for watching my talking about random crap. I might do this later. I don't know. Anyways,